Elephant hit. I said that because that's the actual time I started the stream, like the actual exact, not really exact, but that's the time I started. It's a reference to 31718, the ThinkPad code, which actually, like, it's for testing. So is this. Elephant hit. Amazing. Anyways, due to connectivity issues, this stream will remain currently for a while under some pressure. Under pressure, pushing down. Okay, actually seems to be working very well. The latency's a very normal. Um, so integrating rewired, we've talked about in like part 5, and that's actually really bad because of Steam VR input fitting my needs the most. Until I realize how exactly I can get that done, like the rewired, I'm gonna be using Steam VR. Okay, for sake, why, why, why? Every single time the stream actually shows up to someone, the literal latency, like the little kilobytes per second thing, it's literally so low. It's very low. That's so bad. But I mean, it seems to be normal now. It says it's normal now. Only 256 dropped frames, and it's not changing every second. So I think we're at a good start. Um, let's see if this actually even. Let's see if it actually even works. Ooh, okay. Okay. All right. Okay. For this, you don't need to worry what I'm talking about. Okay. 5 minutes in, we got some pretty good kilobytes per second there. Everything's going well. Um, Alright, what's up, everybody? Alright, um, to the people who were in the last version of the stream, I'm glad you guys are back because I think I've got everything under control. I tried to change the latency to normal. I don't know if that worked or not, but it seems a bit better. And yeah, um, hello, Green Among Us dude. It's nice to meet you. Anyways, we don't have time for that. We have time. The chat begins. You guys talk to each other while I figure everything out, okay? Distract yourselves. I'm trying to distract you guys by forcing you guys. Not really forcing. I just need you guys to talk to yourself. You know, meet new people, or don't. Just I don't know. Do something while I'm currently streaming or doing things behind the scenes for this stuff. Hey, also, I'm gonna go ahead and real quick make a Patreon while I'm doing this because I kind of think I need one. This isn't a Kickstarter, so I won't get copyrighted, and Patreon's way different. I'm not using this as a workaround exactly. I'm just saying that if you want to support me and not the whole VR thing, then thank you. Um, They might be wondering, well, what am I gonna get out of it? You're not gonna get anything. Not gonna get anything. Sorry. I don't have any money for that. I have money for food and everything. I just don't have any money for giving things back. Um, Instead of deep diving into Patreon, I think I'm gonna make it later. Okay, okay. Getting that YouTube stuff going on. So sorry, guys, about the wait. Um, I'd like to say Unity isn't also responding well. Um, yeah. So before I continue, I'd like to let you know, since I know nobody will donate to the Patreon, and I'm not gonna rush. I'm gonna let you know it's gonna be quite private for a while, even though I've never started making it because I said I would do it later, and there's no need to worry about it. I'm fine. The Unity thing, though, for some reason, is taking quite a while. Oh, what? Yeah, War of the Fat Italians. Is that what you mean? Anyways, the Unity thing is right now taking its time. And I say it's taking a bit too much time, but I respect that because it's gonna take some quality assurance of time into this. And anyways, okay. Let's get this straight. While this thing is loading, while everything's going out well, I'd like to do a Q&A. So basically, you can ask me questions about Baldi's Basics VR. I'll answer them the best way I can. So here's some starters for the Q&A if you have any questions. We have the Baldi's Basics full public demo, the full project, the input, and the headsets it'll be released on. So, I mean, those are just four starters, I guess, that you could use to come up with a question or to find that random question in your mind. You guys can go ahead, pick one, and ask a question if you'd like. No need to. I'm not forcing you to. I'm just trying to get the people who actually have a question so they can actually remember what it is and they can say it. What do I need for it? What do you mean by that? You can like, if you could elaborate further, that would be amazing. If connectivity seems to, connectivity seems to be. Quest Link? No. I hate Quest Link. Out of all things, I am not gonna use Quest Link because Quest Link is always laggy for me. However, Steam VR works the best. And for the link cable itself, I even tried that. It doesn't work. So I decided to go on and use Steam VR, which seems to be more like they have more experience, I guess you could say. Not really, but they have more open source experience or just experience in general, so that you could actually use it and it would work with all headsets. So to basically summarize, I do not need Quest Link because Steam VR does the job way better with no lag. That's the question. That's the answer. There you go. Can you guys see this well? I'm gonna place this over here. Okay, we're gonna do a little test, alright? Pause. There we go. That works. Q&A question. Will the characters still be 2D? Yes, they will still be 2D because I've seen Roblox Baldi's Basics characters that are 3D, and now it makes me completely sure that I want to keep it at 2D. However, the only problem with 2D is that in Roblox 2D they use things called beams, which actually work the same way Baldi's Basics 2D does. However, since we're using VR, I'm gonna have to program that to using a cylinder. Whichever face the cylinder is facing, like the player is literally a cylinder. I'm gonna show you. I've shown it in other live streams before, I believe. Here, this one requires a more complicated explanation. There is the player. It's called an XR rig for VR purposes, and the player is literally a cylinder. I made it place the holder because it makes sense. So the player is literally a cylinder, but whichever forward direction the camera and the cylinder is facing is the position Baldi will face. It may take up lag, but that's what I'm probably gonna do. Any more questions so far into the stream? Could be, once again, there's like, I think I said 4 starters. The full game public demo, Baldi's Basics VR, the full project itself, input and compatibility over all headsets. Here, I'm gonna repeat this again. If you guys want to chat with each other to get to know each other, I highly recommend that, because being on electronics isn't really that social. So I would definitely do that. Can I see my hands in VR? Well, yes, but from the Unity camera itself, it looks a bit like this because the camera's faced that way and it's not adjusted to VR. There's a reason why there's hands in Baldi's Basics VR, and since it's VR, in real life you would have hands, unless you're amputated, but we're not going to mention that. In real life, you would have hands, and those hands can be moved and seen. In Baldi's Basics, there's something called a reticle, which a reticle, whatever, is the little dot in the middle of the screen that literally basically represents hands. And then the mouse cursor, the little hand thingy, is what I made a quote-unquote creative kind of thing where I place the sprite, the cursor sprite, into the hands to basically represent the hands. So to summarize it, you can see your hands. We're going to replace the regular PC one where there's a little dot in the middle. We're going to replace that with real hands that can move around. And yeah, that's basically it, I guess. This is what it would look like for fun. This is what it would basically look like if you were using Unity without VR in the beginning. This is the development view, my special development view. This is what it looks like. Here's another beautiful camera view. A beautiful camera angle. Look at that. Beautiful camera angle of Baldi in the school. It still shows here because that shows the actual camera. Remember, don't forget, if you still feel like you want to ask questions or you have one in mind, here's some topics or starters to help you remember that question, or if you just want to ask a question out of nowhere. Starter number one, the Baldi's Basics VR full project. If you have a question about how that will work. Starter number two, the Baldi's Basics VR public demo. Starter number three, pause there. That's a good question. That's actually a good question. I haven't even thought about that. I've never heard a good question like this in decades. Okay. I think I have an idea. We're gonna use the same thing, but instead of like a GUI or anything, we're gonna stop the player movement. We're gonna cancel the input for the player movement, teleport Baldi to the position of the player with the jump scare in the current sprite, stop him from changing sprites, and basically it'd be the same. So what I'm trying to say right now is when the player gets touched by Baldi, and which results in game over, instead of him staying there and moving around and stuff, we're gonna make the player movement stop, keep Baldi in that position where the camera is visible, or teleport him back if needed. And that way, it would basically work well. It's hard to explain. What do I think of 99? I know the backstory behind it, or at least I think I know. I think the number 99 came from 1999 itself, the little year that Baldi's Basics was for. And, but Mistman 12 or Micah McGonigal or the creator of Basically Games had decided to do something to make the game more fun and add lore behind it. So that 99 would be a new character, as mentioned in the Baldi's Basics Plus error screen. I think it was that one. But yeah, so in simpleness, I think 99 is cool. Welcome to everyone that is new here. I'm gonna, at this point, I think I have an idea. Gonna go ahead, copy, paste. And then yeah, I know I know it's like a bit quiet. I'm trying my best not to make it too loud. I guess that's a good question. Jessica says, can I add Miss Pomp? That's something I'm gonna have to decide on, because it's a part of Baldi's Basics Plus, which is currently in paid access. And if it's in paid access, you would have to pay to get the assets. I am releasing Baldi's Basics VR for free, meaning that I would technically, I guess, 0.01% be pirating assets from Baldi's Basics Plus and putting them into Baldi's Basics VR. However, Baldi's Basics Classic Remastered. Hold on, I'm not done yet. What about Beans? Yeah, but I'm not done yet. That's the same story for Beans, but I'm not done yet. However, in Baldi's Basics Classic Remastered, Miss Pomp is in the game files, and Beans is also there. And Baldi's Basics Classic Remastered is free. In technical consideration of that, I wouldn't be pirating Baldi's Basics. Oh, I use OBS Studio. Hello. So, in technical speaking, here's what's happening. Jessica, what I'm trying to say here is that I basically have to use rock, paper, scissors. I have to play rock, paper, scissors with Miss Man 12 over who gets to use it or not. Or I have to use a spinny wheel or some sort of randomness to see who can use it. That would be absolutely crazy if Huggy Wuggy was in Baldi's Basics, because that would be, one, very much copyright since this is not related to it at all. Two, licensing issues. Three, that's just weird. I'm probably not even gonna add that unless I add like a make your own mod in Baldi's Basics VR setting thing. Also, just a little note for you guys, a little note. I think I might add the Baldi's Basics Plus elevators. I think. But they're gonna have to be 3D. Now, for the moment of truth, I meant to say truth, but instead I said truce. Now, instead of me talking for, okay. Jessica, that's not how it works, but okay. Here, I'm gonna just respond over here. Jessica, I could do that, but then it wouldn't really sound right. No running in the halls. 15 seconds. Detention for you. Your parents will hear about this one. Yeah, see, as you can see, I sound nothing like Principal of the Thing. I literally sound nothing like him. Clearly. As you can clearly see, I sound nothing like him. And if someone says I do sound like him, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna say. Alright, but anyways, get ready. Playtime. I know how to make a voice like that, but we have some stuff we can do. All we can do is just use the current assets, since we can literally just use the audio clips. They're here. They're in the decompile. We can use all of them. You don't need to voice all of them at once. So, yeah. It's not really, like, required to record your own. So I'm gonna do that. 1 second. Okay. So get ready. This is not gonna be a transition. Can I do the voice of... Okay. I can, but I don't wanna. There's a reason why I don't wanna. For preservation of the game itself, here, Jessica, I'll give you a hint. Search what I type in chat up. Search this up. There you'll have what she looks like. But anyways, I wouldn't want to make my own voice unless the actual creator of the voice, like Miss Man 12, stuff like that. Also, that one guy's toast. I respect your opinion. I don't really like any Baldi's Basics game, even though I do. I just don't like beating the game because I never have, sadly. Hear the voice of when Miss Pomp yells at you. I can, but I don't wanna. And the reason why is for preservation of the game itself. We don't want it to be like a bootleg game where everything's rewritten and stuff. So I don't want to create any new voice. And yes, Lucas, that is the code. I do not want to create any new voices unless it's a new character that I made. Or unless if it's needed, however, it's not like if the voice is needed, however, the voice actor didn't make that voice. Classic, I respect that. Alright, but as you can clearly see, there's only like a few lines of code. If you even look at the beginning, there's the using valve.vr, and over here, there's this. So what I mean by few lines of code, these are the only 2 lines I've written. The rest, Unity generated. So we've made approximately no progress because of the fact that I was stuck on input. She was voiced by Miss Man 12's sister. Wow, that's cool. Katie McGonigal, good job. But you know what Katie also did? Here's what she also did. She made the Kickstarter soundtracks, especially the popular one, Warning, Ugly Voice. Like that, like the creepy old computer one. You should make a character real. Taxi. I guess, but isn't that basically Miss Pomp and Baldi combined? Null. In a boss fight. Do you know how much code that would take? You're making me go crazy. Like, I swear, this is absolute. How did you guys like the cuts? No. Okay. I cannot add Null's boss fight. That's literally just copying. And plus, if I were to, I guess it wouldn't be considered copying if I'm in VR and stuff. But if I were to, that would be complicated for the person playing VR and about the fact that coding the whole thing. Null doesn't exactly crash your game. It's actually programmed to crash your game. Just like to let you guys know. Hi again, Liam. I think you sent that message 2 times now. Are you trying to get me to... You know what, never mind. Yeah, Lucas, that's a person that is washing dishes in the background. We don't use dishwashers. We use washing dishes. The sink. Listen to what. Okay, here, guys. Take a look at this. Take a look at the pinned message. This is gonna answer some questions here. This pinned message here defines I don't want to do too much. I'm just a little decompiler who hasn't really much experience in VR. All I have is a VR headset to play games and all that, but then I came up with this idea, which many people like. But in the beginning, in the very, very beginning of the idea, you can't add multiple things so much at once. I guess I played that, I'm not sure. But I can't add multiple things at once. You know, the thing is, when Missman12 created Baldi's Basics, he only had a time frame. That's why Baldi's Basics Classic doesn't have much stuff in it. He had a whole on time frame from March 17, 2018 to March 31st, March 31st, 2018. What the heck is going on? Why is the thing... Okay, yeah, so it seems that my mic is a bit miking right now. Sure, I'm not saying this because someone told me to, like, because it's quiet and all. I'm saying this right now because the thing is glitching. It keeps going on, down, and up. Noise suppression. Okay. So I think you guys can hear me well. Jessica, you're thinking of first prize, aren't you? Okay, so I think you guys should be able to hear me clearly now. Remember, you guys can ask real Q&A questions, not some stupid fake one where it's like, oh, what character do you like? Blah, blah, blah. Something like about the project. Once again, the 4 starters. Okay, thanks for identifying that. Okay. That's a problem. Okay, that's so sorry if it says no. Okay. So sorry. Play test. Maybe. Okay. First, here. Okay, enough of saying that. I'd like to clarify. I am not going to look at the chat much. Okay, you know what? Let me say this one more time. I'm not going to look at the chat much. So if you want a Q&A, if you want questions and answers, you gotta type Q&A before your message. Or at least question. Just type question before your message. And then type the question. It's pretty simple, because I'm not going to be looking at the chat much anymore because of programming. But I will look over and over to interact with my viewers and stuff, so yeah. Patty. Now don't mess around with Jessica. Miss Pomp is not. Okay. All right, so I want to say for the Q&A, please put actual questions, not just some stupid lore questions over Baldi's basics. Like some actual questions about maybe the 4 starters or something related to that. Because, well, I have a development mechanism here. I have like a development schedule, I guess you could say, like a development plan. I'm planning to do stuff. I'm not gonna do that much over lore. Instead of asking me for lore, please ask the friends around you currently chatting in the chat, because it's very important to interact with each other. Now, the reason why is because I really want to get to actually coding the game. So instead of me just question, when will game release? That's a very popular question. But make sure to actually put it in the Q&A this time. There will be multiplayer. I think I've mentioned that before. Now I'm going to answer both of your questions real quick. The game will probably not release soon. It might even release in 2026. Well, here's what will maybe release soon. The VR public demo, which then will go on the game. And so the game will probably release as a beta after the date, maybe like a few days after the public demo. So technically it's released, but not like a public, like the full version 1.0. There will be multiplayer. I just need to figure that out, because I need to use Unity's multiplayer servers and stuff. But that costs money. But I've got to try, and I'll see what I can do about multiplayer. I've really wanted to add it. I really wanted to add it. So if you have anything in the chat that's not a question, like start, hurry up and start, then do me a favor and type that in the live chat or in the top chat. Well, no, that's actually both, technically. Type it in the chat, not the Q&A. Right now, I'll only be looking at the Q&A. And I'd like to tell you guys that. So, yeah. I'm done calming down. If I look at the Q&A and I see something that's not really a question about what I'm asking for, that's simply going to be a chat that's going to be, I guess, deleted since, yeah. It's pretty simple. Now, enough of wasting time because of what's currently going on right now. Let's actually get to the quote-unquote fun stuff. Let's actually get to the coding, which is very, very important. Here's a funny little side note. We've been 45 minutes in to the stream. So we're going to be using valve.vr here. Congrats, we've actually edited the code for once. with my inspiration over this, we're gonna go Steam VR input or Steam VR action. I don't remember which one it was. This is action. So as you can clearly see, we're gonna be using the give me 1 second. As you can clearly see, we're going to be using the Steam VR input action system. If you have any problem with that, you can add a question of the 4 starters. Make sure to read them, and you'll see, because it has something about input. And that's pretty much about the 4 starters and stuff. You get the point, you get how to do that. And we're going to get to the actual coding part, because you guys want more parts and stuff. And I don't want to make some super slow parts. And yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay. Let me see if this works. Um, this is just for devlog important stuff. I want to put music in the background so bad. But guess what happened? In my previous streams, there was lo-fi. Beautiful old lo-fi. But it seems that the stream is ended for the lo-fi. So I'm so sorry for you guys. No more lo-fi until I can find a new one. I probably won't find a new one. I'm gonna try my best. There we go. Okay. So, this seems good to me. Will there be Easter eggs? I just saw this one. As usual, yes. Maybe I might actually tell you guys the code in the live stream that you could use once it's done. But it's not done, so you're not gonna get a code. But it may be. So you might get a code, but you might not get a code, but then there's a paradox. So I'm gonna send it right here. There will be, but I'm not telling you yet. You have to go find the X, by the way. Let's see. Let's play test the Unity theme and see just what it does. I don't know if it worked, but we can find out. Oh, I think I know why. There we go. .3D models are 2D models, so Baldi will be 2D and follow the player. He'll be 2D, the same way, like 2D, like the same way that Baldi's 2D in regular Baldi's Basic Sun PC. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Here's what I have to do. So sorry. quest didn't go as well. Yes. Yes. Yes, the input's going good. I like how nobody's in the stream yet. We're at the peak. Oh, it's gonna be on the quest too. You're just gonna need to add stuff like, you know, some programming, like one of the quest link stuff or something alongside Steam VR to get. But yes. This is going great. There's only me and 2 other people in the stream, yet nobody else is in the stream, and it's the little peak. Everything's going well. This time, we've got input working, meaning that I can actually make it so that you can move. Guys, isn't that impressive? You can actually move. Wow! Wait, no. I messed up. Imagine if this worked. Oh yeah, right. Work? There we go. Okay. Now everything's going well. I decided to cheat, kind of. Now, this time... Oh, sorry, I'm so bad. I didn't read the questions. I'm making Baldi's Basics VR for that question. Did I ask the company that I can make this? No, because this is licensed under the open source Baldi license. However, I am not exactly sure if basically games will sue me by legal action. If they will try to, I'll take it down. Is it going to be on the Quest 2? I already answered that. I think you already know the answer. Let's see. Also, hi to everyone that joined. Add a startup screen for Quest users to calibrate head and height position before gameplay. I could have that. It makes sense. Thanks for that idea. I love that. I'm gonna close the Q&A. You guys can type it in the chat. These were just for questions we already answered. Alright, so you can type your questions in the chat this time and some suggestions in the chat as well. So, you go ahead, talk to each other, socialize, whatever. Just questions and suggestions, type them in the chat. Simple as that. Simple as that. Stop. Okay. Now we have the default thing. All actions. And now we're gonna create our own functions now. You guys are actually getting into this one. This one will okay. Alright, I'm gonna play test this out. Roblox developer as well, very nice. can't even find Rewired in here. I prefer pairs instead of I-pairs because I just do what I like to do. Not nearly the same thing, only nearly the same thing.